Very good morning. Welcome to Smart Men's Business. This Monday, Amanju Barije with Masika Tsime here to drive your business, of course, for this particular day. Hope you've had quite a great weekend. It's been a little bit a long one, and of course, which is what I can say, compound with the public holiday that was there, the Mother's Day. I don't know how you found it. Did you happen to move around? Head towards the shrines, and you take a look at what's really transpiring there.
How was
your weekend
anyway? Good morning, Andrew,
good morning.
And good morning, Uganda.
Yeah.
Of course, I must say on Saturday I wasn't able to reach personally. I didn't reach the
celebrations. You didn't do the celebrations.
But I did watch. Numerous people were out there, and it was actually a cause for celebration, remembrance of, it was quite interesting seeing different colors, white and black in the mix. So that definitely, that means at the end of the day, something was achieved, and which was attracting many people in actually
from different places,
just for the cause of Christianity. It's quite amazing right there. But anyway, how are you people doing? Today is a Monday, the 5th of June 2023. Sorry, I can't wrap myself around the fact that we are in the month of June. Oh God. But anyway, we actually received light showers of rain today morning, and of course just to start your week with a smooth, way of things, with some little bit of dust lifted off your feet.
Exactly.
But anyway, we wish you all the best in this week.
All right. Well, and quite lots of events have been happening all around the world, and Uganda at the same time, and even the African continent at the same time. But of course, all of them having a certain influence when it comes to that is the world of business. Well, quite lots of interesting conversations coming up on the show. But of course, before we get into any further discussion, don't forget the markets on the Zabo platform, which will be opening at exactly 8:15 a.m. And of course, the question is, what should you do to participate? Well, simply dial *292#. And you'll be available with quite lots of options where you can choose to buy government bonds and securities for just as little as 15,000 Ghana shillings. Yes, the markets, like I say, will be opening at 8:15 a.m. till 3:15 p.m. Monday up to Friday, except on the weekends and the public holidays when you can access this market. But at least you have the rest of the 5 days to capitalize and make yourself quite some huge profits, and which make life much more easy and much more better. Zabo made this a reality. There is no excuse as to why you shouldn't own government bonds and securities. Of course, with such an opportunity, Zabo simply says, my money, my future. And All Texas Africa comes out and says, do something new. Well, now heading straight into our morning call this week, and of course this Monday, the kickstart off. And of course, we know that it's a budget month, and of course there are quite lots of insights that we have regarding the budget, because I'm speaking from the perspective of the common person. Some of the people don't know what actually the budget is, and from the lay persons, because they have this perception. And I don't judge them, because sometimes the people that present these matters of the budget seem to be a little bit bringing these sorts of complex terms, which I believe that should be calmed down a little bit to the lay person. And of course, at Smart 24 TV and on Smart Men's Business, we're going to be simplifying this for you, any person that you really find it hard to understand what the budget really is. Now, and of course, in our morning call, we are looking at demystifying the budget, and of course, getting to understand how it impacts your daily life, your way of spending, and so many perspectives.
Andrew, I have something to say on that.
Yeah.
I got to realize this, that you get to know something when you are really affected
by it.
Why? When you're growing up, these things never affect you.
Oh, of course.
The budget has nothing to do with you, really. Taxes.
I don't care about the taxes.
But the moment you start earning, and you go to the market and buy something, definitely, trust me, speaking from my own point of view, oh my God, really?
It's harsh out. It's harsh out there.
Because I know I'm going to get a tomato a kilo, and yesterday it was at 3,000. Now it's at 5,000. I'm wondering why. What is wrong?
What is wrong?
What is wrong?
What is wrong? What is
So I
happening?
feel like that's like the reason as to why people in the villages, the people, our grandmothers are. It's none of their business, because why? They are into subsistence farming.
Yeah.
They farm for their stomach. So you know,
he doesn't know what it means to go to the market and you buy a tomato, you buy an onion.
Yes.
It doesn't even make sense, and he tries to add it
And you
up.
know, it's very funny how they go to hospital and they're like, oh, these medical bills are so, so high. So
high,
really, but anyway, I think they're trying as much as they can to popularize the budget, sensitizing people through radio, television, and all the forms of disseminating information.
Disseminating the information.
So I believe it will catch up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, just in a little brief here in the morning call, you get to realize that the budget is an economic financial tool that of course affects various aspects of the country's economy, if you're ready to look at it in that sense. And of course, while the specific can vary, depending on the countries, different aspects of the budget really vary. The US budget might be a little bit, its context might be a little bit different from that of Uganda, and quite so many. But of course, there are all these major aspects. For example, revenue and expenditure, the taxes, how the taxes are going to be put up there, because in that way, when you're budgeting how you're going to spend, you're also budgeting at the same time how you're going to get the money to spend. So it's in that way you design the tax reforms, the framework, and all those aspects, so that a business person can really know. That's why it's read publicly, so that you can have this this picture within you, and okay, this is the amount of money, and the government probably plans to raise a certain percentage to fund the budget from the taxes. So as a business person, you know what to do. You know what to focus, and I feel like it's also one of the tools to encourage productivity, because when you know that the government has to raise revenue from taxes, that means you have to think outside the box to raise revenue, because it's going to be taxed.
But do they know what revenue is?
Revenue for?
There is a person who is doing business and they're not going to school, and probably
revenue is just that money that you get from your business.
Yeah, exactly. So
the profit that you make, what you call a
let me tell you, Andrew.
Yes.
The problem is language. That's the problem, I think. It's language, because imagine that what is being read, figures and terms like
revenue.
No, not necessarily that. Subsidies and then
subsidies.
What?
A subsidy is somebody who doesn't have subsidy. A subsidy is, for example, let me say, if they say a tax subsidy, that means it's the government paying for you. You've been subsidized. You're not, meaning you as a common person, you're not paying the tax. The government is paying for you. Of course, more of these terms are going to be coming up, as we shall be explaining to you what really the budget is. And like we are doing right now, of course, we're trying to simplify some of the terms which seem to be a little bit complex. Well, it's 15 minutes past 7. Of course, that is it for the morning call. Now let's cross over and take a look at what's happening into the press. On us here we have that is the New Vision, the East African, and the Daily Monitor. Yes, and of course, as we start with the New Vision here, on the top page, we see that, of course, matters regarding Somalia, as President Museveni reveals details that is on army casualties. You'll be checking out that. And 220 education ministry jobs up for grabs. Yes, 220.
Wow.
Yeah, this is here. That is quite something very remarkable. And also, President Museveni still urges NRM MPs to supervise government programs. What do we have on the top there?
Oh, well, this actually, how the weekend bees. So government delays merger of agencies again.
Yeah.
And of course, we see a headline of one named Sima getting herself school fees. She was among the pilgrims, actually.
Okay.
That walked different long distance, and she earned herself some. Was she the youngest? I think.
Okay.
She earned herself actually school fees right there. last year there was an instance like this. A child as well was given some money
for making a pilgrim.
Yeah.
Let me hope some of the people
it's not easy actually for kids, for children. Imagine walking like 80 kilometers.
Okay. Which is okay, but I just hope parents won't use this as an opportunity to say that, next time my child should, I should make my child walk miles.
I had a thought about it really.
Okay. All right. Now still over here we see the aspect of the plastic problem. And of course there is an open letter to the manufacturers of plastics. And of course you'll read out. And also the ultimate question, which asks, who are Uganda's biggest polluters?
Well, as we World Environment Day, as we talked about plastics, it's actually important that we do away with plastic. We are trying as much as we can to make sure that we are green environment safe. But of course, you see the problem actually with African countries, or must say Uganda. This is business.
Yeah.
This is their business.
Collecting
plastics.
Collecting plastics, yes.
So imagine if we phase that out.
So people will be out of business. But of course, whenever you're building something out there, that is something that we know that whenever something new comes up, erasing away something, there are people that are going to be affected. But of course, the bigger aspect here is if you're raising them, what policy have you put in place to at least not make them, the compensation aspect should be put in there, because some of them, that's where they're earning a living from. But anyway, that happens mainly with countries which have established systems that even you're displaced somewhere,
I believe you have to have
something.
an emergency escape route, really.
Yeah.
Where you are is it's not permanent unless it's your father's land or something you inherited. But if at all it is not, then definitely you have to have an escape plan.
What if I don't have it?
No, you have to have it. You have to definitely have an escape plan.
Maybe
No, listen, I mean, you cannot, we've been talking about this, me and Songo, over and over and again, about saving. You cannot think of today. Tomorrow will think about itself.
Yeah, but of course, the country we're in, that's how the lifestyle of people
know.
is. It's about thinking for today. I mean, there is nothing to sell.
There is a meme that I saw, and someone was like, you save some money and your savings save you.
Save you, yes. You save your money and your savings save you the next month or the next week. So that's how it is.
So in Rwanda stands for iron ore factory. Of course, Rwanda is known for iron ore. And of course, in the past months, was it in March, there was a tragedy that happened at the iron ore where most people died. So this quarry, iron ore, people actually get accidents doing these things,
but they are not protected. Like they don't.
No, they don't have protections. They don't have.
They should have protection, actually.
I mean, these are lame and they can't afford. So you go in with the risk in your head, knowing you have. It's so new, really. So having a factory for them is going to actually solve a little bit of problems.
A little bit of a problem. All right, now here in the New Vision, of course, we take a look at peace, stability, made freedom of worship possible. That's according to President Museveni. Now, of course, President Yoweri Museveni said multitudes and Christians were able to gather. And I'm going on. Well, now let's link up with Joram, of course, giving us what's happening on the traffic that's on the Ginger Road. A very good morning, Joram, and what is the traffic condition like there?
All right, good morning. Good morning, Andrew and Mercy. A very warm good morning. I'm live at the Ginger Road traffic lights. And of course, right behind me is the access road. It is Monday, busy hootings from the traffic officers. That is in relation to the whistles that are being used. But obviously, it's a brand new week. That means if you are out there trying to move about, you're definitely going to be in a mood of kickstarting off your business week, and that is definitely what we do here. Now, with our traffic observation so far this morning, is that you get to realize, first and foremost, is that right behind me with the access road, you realize that same route is bringing in vehicles from Namuwongo, and at the same time, bringing in vehicles that are actually coming in from Chibuli and Nsambia. Now, all those particular lanes represent a little bit more of how busy the traffic is at the moment. And surprisingly, you get to realize that we are currently having KCCA officials that are helping out with the traffic atmosphere and helping out with the traffic flow or movement of vehicles and border borders at the moment. Well, pretty much a little more of the chaos that normally happens in such times is simply because most of the officers that help in the traffic flow hardly respect or follow these particular traffic lights. And this is at times seen as a way of them trying to quicken the flow of traffic, but at times it becomes really hard for the people who normally follow the traffic lights to cope up with the speed of the traffic flow, because you get to realize there's some disorganization, especially brought about by some of the border riders who tend to beat the traffic lights nor or pay attention to what the whistle hooting is directing them to do. But well, since it is a Monday, most of the people who normally travel out of Kampala are getting back to the city. That is for people who come from Jinja. There are those who are coming in from Mbale, Malaba, Busia sides, of course, because they spent their weekends away from the capital and are rushing to get back to their workplaces. And we all know most of the official offices in Kampala, more so from the formal sector, jobs are open by 8 o'clock. So that is why you see that by 7:30 the roads are always busy. Most of the jobs, 8 o'clock to 5 p.m. is when people are supposed to be reporting for work. So from 7 to 9, the roads are always busy, if you come to think of it, and you can easily observe for your own self as things go by. So this kind of observation gives you a little bit more of understanding that, well, if you are to start your day on a Monday, you really need to wake up quite earlier. The simpler methods, maybe if you've been waking up at 6 in the mornings, that is from the casual days. Mondays are a little bit tricky. If you want to beat the morning traffic, it would be better if you woke up at around 5 o'clock, or better yet 5 a.m. So rather better yet 4 a.m. Because that is quite the same kind of situation if you are going to beat the traffic atmosphere and the traffic situation this morning. But of course, the economy is still in the kind of situation of preparations for the national budget. And of course, the last week was the salary week. Same applies to this particular one. And you can easily see by the flow of traffic that it's a cool morning, not a hectic one in regards to how people are rushing to work, as you would definitely expect for a Monday. Why? Maybe, you know, it's simply because of the fact that the economy isn't treating people so well, by the kind of observation that you can easily see. And of course, when you come to think of it as well, is behind me again, like you can easily see, the observation gets us back to a situation of understanding that, well, everyone is rushing, especially those who are actually on borders, trying to beat the morning traffic, and at the same time trying to get into kind of observations of getting early at work. And of course, for a Monday, you do expect a lot of situations, one of which is how you get yourself into your workspace before your boss kindly finds you, or before your boss comes before you. But of course, as I get back to studio with Andrew and Mercy this morning, you will definitely have to understand that, well, for any kind of person, if you want to kickstart off your morning in the best way you can think of, is waking up earlier than the rest of the days, because as an early bird, there are lots of observations that you need to understand. Is how you wake up depicts a lot more of how your day is going to be and how much your week is definitely going to come about. So when you look at that street that is actually heading to the Nile Avenue and also heading to Garden City, the lane does seem to be free a little bit than the rest of the others. Of course, we do have pedestrians strolling to the capital as well. Most of the Ugandans in the morning tend to use more of the foot while moving because of the fact that they have to, maintain some costs in regards to the transportation. And when you come to think of it, that is what you can easily see. Some of them can only afford a bus or what you could say a coaster or a taxi, which goes between 2,000 to 4,000 depending on where you're coming from. So by the time they reach a near bus stop, their next destination will definitely see them getting a border B or a border to head to where they're going to work from. But of course, as I take you back to Andrew and Mercy to take you through the latest information coming in from the international scene as well as from the East African community. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko, and I've been giving you more details from the traffic updates. Good morning.
Thank you, Joram, for that report. And of course, as you can observe, it seems quite a little bit much more congested in that area, most especially people that stay on 6th Street, 8th Street, on the access road. That roundabout is always very horrible. And of course, remember, there are quite lots of potholes around that roundabout, accompanied with the massive vehicles. Oh my goodness, it's crazy, as you have observed.
Yeah, like you said, most people prefer actually walking. Yeah, walking a little bit of distance, and they get, taxis. Or to cut on costs, really, as he said.
Yeah, surely. It's 29 minutes past 7 now. Let's get into a short break. And of course, when we return, shall be taking a look at what's happening. And that is on the international scene, and also taking a look at what's happening within the East African community. Good morning.
Smart 24, driving